also a member of Abidjan Sister Cities Committee. And what happened was I'm a former commissioner, commissioner status of women. I was appointed by Diane Feinstein, who you know has been in the Senate for years. And she set up a sister city relationship with Abidjan, which is the Ivory Coast, Port y'all. And what was so amazing about establishing the sister city relationship was validating the women and their culture, their ability to be entrepreneurs, and also to give us an opportunity to help, say for example, around the issues of malaria. We sent mosquito nets, as well as we actually raised funds so that we could get the medication. Because when you talk about the villages, they talk about the reality of we need the medicine. And so I'm using this as a precursor because that was when Feinstein was mayor. That's in the 70s. And here we are in 2016. And those issues still apply all over Africa. In particular, with Women's Intercultural Network, WIN, they established a personal, direct relationship with Uganda. Uganda's history is that they had a revolution. When they had the revolution, women were some of the cornerstones of pushing that revolution forward. And what resulted is there was an amendment to the Constitution that required that 40% of all leadership in Uganda would be held by women. And the reality is that today there's 35% of those women leaders. However, there is a pushback, and that's what I will be discussing. So, for example, we'll start with the sexual and physical psychological abuse that women are suffering from. We have teenage pregnancies that occur where children are 15 years old and they're married off. I believe our first speaker talked about how by interfering with the flow of the gender, you actually take them from the marketplace. And also the flip side of that is that they also end up in labor trafficking situations. And so one of the deep passions of the work that I do is I do work around human trafficking and specifically child trafficking. So I'm a member of San Francisco Commission And then after she does everything else and gets the water source and gets back, then she goes out to the garden and helps him with the garden. Okay, so the reason why I mention this is because there's a cultural shift that needs to occur in terms of the value of the work that they're doing and what it really does for the economically. And so what I'm trying to say to you is that in the course of all of this, women, they united to actually start doing these caucuses. There were 7 districts. And currently, there are 35% of the population are actual women in government. However, there is a pushback. The pushback is that persons in power, in the higher levels of power, will put pressure on these women that are in these positions in a way that will say, don't be true to what you were elected for. So then that means there's no effect in the actual issues that would help these women. And so what they describe is that there needs to be this whole consciousness to make sure that not only the women that actually get elected, but then they're true to actually empowering the women in the village. I only got 1 minute. Okay, so here we go. Setbacks. Institutional gender discrimination still exists in the government. We need good laws that are not fully implemented. We must expand all of the issues around unpaid help and also the unpaid work. The things that they want the government to do is that they want to be able to rely on them. And how they have been getting their empowerment is they've been taking a whole connection with other international associations to force them, like we have CEDAW, but at the same time to take this international leverage and make the higher ups in the government actually respond to the result resolutions. So I've got 4 things I want to say. The challenges that we need to have more than 30% in this poverty. 30% actually make $1 a day. We need more secure roads so that they'll be able to get to these water sources. This should be the duty of the government.